All right. How we doing? Welcome. Hello. How's it going? Yeah. Hi. I'm off work. It's time to go. And since we're doing a run today, I think the earlier that we start, the better. Since if the run goes all the way, then it's gonna be late. But yeah. But yeah, hello, Kramenket. Welcome on in, Kiara Wrestler with the first. How about that? Rain, Jesse, Fjorton, Vampirius, TK. How's everybody doing? Vampirius, my name is Dash. And yeah, how's everybody doing? Are we a dad yet? We draw ever closer. Like, I think we're at the point where I wouldn't be surprised if it was any day, you know? But I mean, we're expecting that it's going to be another couple weeks, right? Another couple weeks is the expectation, but I am, I'm prepared for it to be any day. All right. There we go. Mia is hunkered into the crevice here. I don't think that I have I have a good. No, I don't have a good camera shot of it. But we'll get that figured out. All right. Hang on a second. I gotta fix that camera here real quick. Okay, there we go. And now come here a second. Come here. Oh, there she is. All right, she is hunkered down. She's ready for the what the hell is that? Oh, that's my lanyard. Dude, this lanyard, look at this thing. It is a Diablo 3 for PS3 lanyard. I have had this thing for so long, but it's like, the thing is that the hook is really nice on it, right? This is the reason I still have this lanyard, is that this hook part is super, high quality. I've not got another lanyard where the sew right here is strong, the fabric feels tough, and all this metal is high quality, right? So I've tried to replace it, but the other ones that I find just aren't, they're just not up to code. But all right, there we go. You guys ready to start the speed run? Will this be my last FF7 run? And yeah, the answer is not necessarily, but any FF7 run might be the last one, You never know. So actually, that's a good thing to point out. That's a good thing to get people hyped up, right? Is the fact that this could be my last FF7 run, Any one of these runs could be it. So let's have a good last run here. All right. Let's do it. Let's get it fired up. Oh, the thing's not on. What up, big booty? Big booty. Okay, are we on yet? No signal? No signal? Oh, maybe I have to reset the capture card now. Okay, well, we're gonna do one of these. And then we're gonna do one of those. No signal. I got the HDMI. Oh, it's not. You're not on? Does this remote not work? Hello? Ah, there we go. Okay. I might have to change these batteries. Oh, okay. We have audio. All right. And then and then turn it off, turn it back on again. We get signal. All right, there we go. We get signal. Oh, it's you. Okay. Oh, you know what? It's good to do the one reset anyway, because check this out. If we triangle into this menu and we turn this to fast, this only stays on fast through a reset if you've reset one time. And then when you turn your PlayStation off, it resets it resets the whole cycle. But it's like, so what that means is if you turn your PlayStation on from off and you set the speed to fast, then if you hit your reset button on your PS2, it'll go back to normal. But if you turn your PlayStation on and then you either do or don't change it to fast, it doesn't matter. But at some point you have hit the reset button on your PS2, then you change it to fast. Then if you press reset, it'll stay fast until you turn it off again. Until you turn the PlayStation off again. And then it resets. How do you like that? Okay, anyway, let's go. Boom. That's the very confusing way that the fast disk speed works. And why it kind of seems like sometimes it stays on and sometimes it doesn't. You don't like it? Honestly, I don't like it either. I think the reason that they make it flip back after you turn the system off is probably because they planned ahead for incompatibility, right? Like, they thought people are just going to set this to fast and then they're going to forget about it. And then when they forget about it, right? And then when they put a different PlayStation game in and that PlayStation game doesn't work because of the fast disk speed, they're going to forget that was ever a thing that they turned on, and then they won't do it. What up, Minin? I get does that have it might have to be at the start of your message. I didn't I never realized that that's a thing. But that must be how it is.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Yeah. I think I can change that, though. Hang on. Let me see if I can. If I go actions... No. It's in commands. All right. And then here's this one. And then instead of... Let's see. Oh, yeah, it's on start. I'm going to change that to anywhere. Okay. There you go. I changed it. Now your first thing... The first way you did it should work now. Hi, Mia. But anyway, how's it going?
I have a bad feeling about this.
Yeah. I'm not gonna run again, that's crazy. I mean, I just don't know. This is the thing. I'm gonna be a dad in 2 weeks. So, like, I just don't know what the streaming schedule will look like if I'm ever able to stream again. You know what I mean? I just have no clue, really. And even if I am able to get streams in the near future, it's not gonna be speedrunning a 6-hour speedrun, you know? Oh my gosh, the PlayStation version feels good. Boom. Oh, so glad to be back on PlayStation. Oh my gosh, did you see that dude? Oh, dude, look at this battle menu. This battle menu is 60 frames per second. I'm hearing every sound effect in the menu. Oh man. It's like the game was made. Right. It's like the game was made for this platform. There we take walking steps into this cutscene in order to avoid a battle. Son just turned 2. First 6 months were rough, but now you're in a good routine. Gotcha. I have heard that 2 years old though is a different type of rough period. You know, they call it the terrible twos, right? All right. Boom. You see that corner? But yeah, anyway, but that's what I'm saying about the streaming schedule, is that it's like, I'm not, you know, I'm gonna have a child, and so I'm not making any promises online about what my online presence is gonna look like, you know? I love streaming, so I'll do it if I can, but like, you know, I'm just being realistic about setting expectations. And yeah, this is a non-turbo run. Here we gotta listen for an audio cue. There it was. How's the hand doing? It's doing better, you know. I got double beam gunned right there, 2 beam guns. You know, it's getting better every day. And then, oh, and Huggy, you were asking about drums later. I actually did a drum stream on Tuesday. I played drums on Tuesday already. So if the run dies today, what will we do? I mean, maybe I'll just play more drums, because honestly, that is kind of a thing where, like, something I've just been noticing about, dude, this is the worst guard scorpion approach of all time. We've seen 3 beam guns now and still got punched. I haven't gone back to blueprints in a while. That's a good point. You know, that's the thing, is that there's a bunch of games that I've been playing lately. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and a half. But yeah, bunch of games that I've been playing lately. But like, I just really like playing drums, man. How do you escape a random battle? So the buttons that you press are holding R1 and L1, but here's how it works, is as you are holding R1 and L1, the game calls RNG every frame at 15 frames per second for the battle action. It calls RNG every frame, and then if ATB is in time. Oh, but we got an early bolt. That's good. Hey, that's really good. Anyway, what was I saying? If ATB is in time mode and not wait mode, then it will use that RNG call for the escape attempt to see whether or not the escape attempt was successful. And if the escape attempt is successful, then there is an escape difficulty value that depends on the formation of enemies that ticks down by 1. Most formations, the escape difficulty is 1. So the first time that a successful escape check happens, that number ticks down to 0. And when that number is 0, you successfully escape. There are some enemies, though, such as the Midgar Zolom, that have a higher than 1 escape difficulty, which means you have to roll multiple successful escape attempts in order to escape that fight. Marlon Moy, thank you for subscribing. So that's how that works. Okay, so I think I'm gonna do a single bolt here. That'll give Cloud his limit. And then because we got the early bolt, miss! Oh my gosh, that's really annoying actually. Okay, just do a regular attack then, and then just get ready for a triple Susie. Okay, I tried to avoid having to do 2 tail lasers there because it whoa! Okay, that was good. All right, so that was overall that was still a very bad segment. Like that was a pretty darn good Guard Scorpion fight, but the whole segment was bad because of all those bad escape attempts. What value is considered escapable? It's a good question because every RNG roll is a number between 0 and 255. What exactly is the actual threshold that you need to escape, or for it to be considered a successful escape? I'm actually not sure. Okay, I gotta concentrate on this escape here real quick because it's been a minute since I've run, and so this is exactly the kind of thing that I might screw up. So I overwalked that by a frame already. So now when we come up here, I gotta see that okay, I did that one normally. And so I think what that means, since I overwalked one, we walk out, and then what I'll do is just go kind of wide around that. That I'll do... Oh my gosh, that was weird. I tried to go too tight right there and ended up getting stuck, but that's fine. And then I went kind of wide on that other corner. Okay, I'm being a little overly cautious here. But, you know, I just really don't want to screw up preemptive apps as I'm trying to come back, you know? Because I'm going to be a little rusty here. I haven't played this category in a little bit. Haven't played this platform, you know, the PlayStation version in a little bit. Haven't done non-turbo in a little bit, right? So... You know, I'm a little rusty. The overwalk at the start, you just have to make up for it. So the way that I made up for it is that when you're going into the elevator, you can just hold up on the stairs and Cloud will zigzag into the elevator naturally. But it actually costs 2 extra frames to do that, but that's normally just accounted for. But if you cut left on your way into the elevator, it saves 2 frames. So, so that's why I tried to go kind of wide around that one corner, in order to, you know, use up another extra walking frame, and then I can cut 2 frames off on the elevator, and then we're back to neutral. Oh, did I not put the YouTube chat on this scene? I must have forgotten to put it on this scene. I can fix that. That's the thing, like, the change I made to get YouTube chat on screen has to be made on every scene. You got your first preemptive apps today by accident. That's awesome. And it's one of those things too where, like, I'm sure it happened to a lot of people growing up, but they don't even remember or really realize what was happening. They probably just went, what the fuck, if anything, and then that was it. But, like, now that you know what it is, you know, it's a lot easier to spot. Oh no, that's not what I meant. Okay. Oh, it's in the wrong spot. Okay, hang on. Okay, there we go. There we go. Whoo! All right. And Saint Michael, how's it going? I'm glad you like the drum streams. Yeah. And that's the thing. Okay, so probably make a chat scene that combines the chat and then use that scene everywhere. I mean, I do a very similar thing where I'm using the same source everywhere. It's a little group. It's a group that has like a... Oh, you know what, though, actually? This scene, it doesn't work as well. I put a little dark box behind it so it's easier to see on, like, the regular channel. But that, I don't think, is needed over the magic face. And you can see where the boundaries of it are. I'll make it look better later. And yeah, I use OBS Studio. Look. I know how to do the chat. I'm just saying I haven't done it on this scene yet. 1, 2, 3, 4. But it's just a matter of copying the source on one scene and then pasting it in this one. Which is what I just did. You got Slay the Spire 2 last night? Yeah. But anyway, yeah, as I was saying, it's like, yeah, I've got all these games that I've been playing, and people ask about them all the time, right? People ask, when's more Blueprints? When's more Kingsfield? And that kind of thing. And, like, you know, I want to deliver, but at the same time, I just really like playing drums, man. And also, the thing that I really like about drum streams as well, and just drumming in general, is that it feels like something... It feels a little bit more productive, right? It's better exercise, I'm working on something physical, I get better at it, you know? And I like that kind of thing, right? And I think part of this is just the fact that, like, I am actually... like in a band now, and we're working on shit that that I'm just in general a lot more into you know, playing music. Never heard of Ghost until now? Oh yeah, Ghost is awesome. Is Slay the Spire BG? Is Slay the Spire board game based on... Oh, the board game. Yeah. It's based on the original game, for sure. Like, I've played them all, and I would say that the board game is for sure based on the original. It is different, though. Like, it's different in that a lot of the mechanics are adjusted to make them make more sense in a physical setting. And then also, the board game has co-op, which the original game doesn't have. And then they added that co-op into Slay the Spire 2 now. So, interestingly, in that way, it's kind of a mix of both. All right, yo, Tazmat. But yeah, anyway, like I was saying, it's just fun to... It's fun to get better at drumming. Oh. Yeah, Mia's chilling. She's chilling for now. We'll see how chill she stays. And yeah. All I can say about the music streams not being on YouTube is that there's a reason for it, and I have provided 2 alternatives. I stream on Twitch, and the drum streams are also on Kick. So there's 2 alternatives for you, and if that's not good enough, then don't watch. Yo, Retro J. Have I played Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree? You know, not the whole thing. I loved Elden Ring. I played through it, I think, 3 times. And then Shadow of the Erd Tree came out during a time where my wrists were super fucked up. And so I couldn't really play it. And so I finally, but now that my wrists are better, I did start it, but I didn't finish it. The kid is due in about 2 more weeks. Right? 2 more weeks? 2.5 more weeks? Am I nervous? I mean, kinda. But not a ton. We got the car seat installed in the cars now, and that was like kind of a moment. You know what I mean? Like, it felt like that was kind of the biggest time so far that I felt like I was being a dad. You know what I mean? Because I was like installing a thing specifically for my daughter. You know what I mean? I mean, I guess I assembled the changing table, but I don't know. That didn't really feel the same. But yeah, you know what I mean. But am I ready? I'm as ready as I'll ever be. You know. With drums, you can never do 2 rhythms at the same time. Yeah, I mean, you gotta start simple, right? And honestly, like my big thing, like if anybody wants to get into drumming, my thing that I would say to do, advice-wise, is honestly go on eBay and get yourself a old plastic Rock Band drum kit. You know, the 4-pad Rock Band drum kit? Get one of those and play Rock Band. And that gives you a really nice way to like learn the muscle memory of starting out very simple and increasing in complexity. And it's just fun. And it doesn't take up a ton of space, right? It's not super loud. And it'll kind of teach you whether you enjoy it, you know? It'll kind of teach you whether you enjoy it and whether you want to put more into it. And yo, Comp, thank you for subscribing. The trippiest part is the first ride home from the hospital with the baby. That's what I'm thinking. And I've kind of heard that. And I sort of, like, I can imagine that, right? Where it's like, you go home and now you have this infant human. And you're like, okay, well, like, we just got to keep this thing alive? Like, we have to do this now? Or like, it's not we have to do this. Of course, you know that. It's like, it's just like funny that you are being trusted to do it. You know what I mean? Like, no one else is here to keep an eye on this. It's up to you, right? That's what I've heard is like a very strange feeling. Especially, especially like coming from the the hospital where, like, you know, you got the doctors, you got the nurses, right? If something is going wrong at first, then you know, you've got the NICU, you've got everyone around to call. Feels like you've been doing side quests all your life, and now you're engaged in the main quest. See, that's exactly what I expect it to be also, you know? Signix, by the way, thank you for resubscribing, thank you. Yeah, that's kind of what I was, thinking, exactly. Like, somebody asked me a couple months ago or so, somebody asked me, you know, what am I looking forward to the most about being a dad? And... you know, the best way that I can put it is a sense of purpose, you know? Feeling like there's now a sense of purpose, rather than just simply, like, basically, like, my whole life so far, I've just kind of lived, you know, for myself and for my wife and family, you know? But you know, hang on. But really, like, when you get to it, I've just been vibing, you know what I mean, my whole life, and so now there will be a much greater purpose. Oh, and to answer the question earlier, yes, I took time off work and stuff, you know. There's a new thing in Minnesota where, like, you can apply to take, like, a certain amount of time off work, and you get like a portion of your usual salary, and then I'm not sure what the rest of the details are on it. And honestly, everyone who I've tried to ask about it as well has been like, yeah, I don't know, it's new. It's like a new thing. I don't really know how it works yet. But yeah, so I think I'm going to do that for like a couple weeks. And then since I work from home mostly, I think after a couple weeks, I'm going to go back to, you know, working while Mrs. Dash is still on leave. And then we'll go from there. Boom. Do. All right. Remember, we're back to regular controls here, not like the new version. And so we do squats in the normal order. Do. MMORPG, how's it going? What MMO are you playing nowadays? McMurchy, thank you for the super chat. Good to see you as well. Definitely WoW right now. You're probably on retail because that new expansion just came out, right? Midnight? Or are you on classic? If I was playing an MMO right now, 100% it would be classic WoW, and just regular classic WoW, not even like the later one. Because yeah, I'm one of I think like the majority of people this is, where I started WoW during vanilla, right? I got WoW during the vanilla age, and I played it all the way through Cataclysm, and then I got Mr. Pandaria, and I played it a tiny bit, and then that was like, I quit playing during Mr. Pandaria, and then I only came back for Classic once that released. Well, there was a time during there was another expansion that like some friends of mine were playing, and they wanted me to play. So like I did end up playing for like a month at one point during Legion. I think it was Legion was the expansion. So I played like a month of that. No, I didn't play EverQuest. My MMO history, I started on RuneScape, and then I went to WoW. And then, besides WoW, I played, like a little bit of Final Fantasy XIV at one point. Playing PoE 1 and 2. Yeah, I never really got into the first one. But PoE 2, when it first released in early access, I played through it. And then I haven't played it since, but I might get back into it at some point. Here's my problem with ARPGs though, or like that kind of game, is that when I watch people who are into PoE, right? They're into it. And what they're doing is just like sprinting through dungeons at full speed with everything around them exploding, and then just being like, oh, I might die. They'll say something like that. They'll say something like that. Oh, brother, if I get hit, I'm dead. Or something like that, and I have no clue what they're talking about because the screen is just completely full of spell effects and things exploding, and I never even see their HP move, so I'm not even sure why they're saying what they're saying. And then also, they're not picking up any of the loot on the ground. They're like, I don't know, there's like something that they'll go over and pick up every once in a while, but like fucking, for the most part, they're just like not interested in 99% of the drops. Here, I look at that, and I think this looks like zero fun, is what I think. And I realize I'm wrong, and I realize that they like it, right? I'm just saying that, that, like, watching that, I go like, boy, that looks like zero fun. And so the fact that the idea is that that is what you work toward makes me not really super interested in playing the game in the first place. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? It's like, you see that and you're like, if this is endgame, I don't know how much I care about game. You know? Now, here's the thing though, is that won't actually stop me from playing it that much more though, because I do enjoy the campaigns myself. Like, Diablo 3, for example. When Diablo 3 first came out, I loved playing through the campaign. And the way that it was structured back then, instead of doing rifts and shit like that, when Diablo 3 first came out, it was like, you played through it, then you played it on hard, then you played it on hell, and then you played it on inferno, right? And so you play through the campaign 4 times, and then at that point, it's just about the grind. But what I would do is, okay, at that point, then I start a new class, right? And I played through Diablo 3 at least 3 times, because Inferno mode was kind of fucked at first, so I didn't play it with everybody. But, you know, I played through the campaign and got up to level 60 with every class. And then, instead of then dedicating to the grind to just like make Inferno mode easier or whatever, I just started playing hardcore at that point. Then I started making hardcore characters and playing that way, right? So like, that's what I really enjoyed in that game. But then of course, as they patched that game, before they nerfed Inferno, it was super fun. It was! But then, yeah, and then they patched all of the fun out of the game. and it was like then everything just became all about like doing Nephilim riffs, right? Nowadays, what is Diablo 3? Well, it's a game with scaling difficulty, so that all you're really supposed to do is just like figure out which of the 30 difficulty modes is not the one that's the most fun and challenging, but which one is the most efficient, right? And then you run through randomized Nephilim riffs in order to get a bunch of loot, so that maybe you can notch the difficulty up one more, because now that's going to be the most efficient for you to run more fucking slop riffs. I hate it. Anyway, I didn't mean for this to turn into a Diablo 3 rant, but point is, I really enjoyed playing through the campaign of PoE 2 that they had on release. And once they finish the game, or like it comes out of early access, or like all of the acts are done, right? Once all of the acts are done, I'll go back in and I will play through the campaign again, and I will have fun with the campaign. But you're not gonna catch my ass, doing whatever the hell it is that guys are doing whenever I go into a PoE 2 stream. 454 is maybe the actual weakest cloud you can possibly have. That might actually be the literal weakest braver you can possibly get here. And so I think we don't throw this grenade with Cloud. And now this sewer tsunami kills him. It's 446. Oh, okay. We got 454, yeah. All right, so there we go. Slow apps, but I did at least not throw the grenade with Cloud, which avoided wasting a little bit more time and wasting a grenade. Oh! And yeah, Final Fantasy Tactics, great game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I believe it's the same developer as Vandal Hearts. Because Final Fantasy Tactics was made by a different team than like the other Final Fantasies. Yo, Doomies. Is this emulated? No. This is a PlayStation 2 going YPBPR video into a RetroTink 5X on plug-and-play settings. We play on a PS2 because it has better load times than a PS1. And thank you, Doomies. Okay, my steps were a little bit bad, so I think this is going to be, like, here. Give me 4, because I've been a good boy. Ah! The 4 would have been the one! 4th would have been the one, but I actually, I screwed up the timing. I got the timing correct twice in a row, and then I screwed up the timing on the 3rd one, which is the 4th total, but it's the 3rd one that you have to time. Oh, man. And Sheriff, thank you for subscribing. What about G-O-W? You mean like God of War? Like, did I enjoy the God of War games? On PS2? Hell yeah. Well, so God of War Original, on PS2, I love. Great game. God of War 2, I've only played once, and I've actually been meaning to replay it, because I replayed God of War 1 relatively recently. And, oh my gosh, that was weird. relatively recently, and on the archive YouTube channel, you can actually find the playthrough if you're interested. But yeah, relatively recently, replayed it, loved it. God of War 2 I only played through once, so I'm thinking about, you know, revisiting that one. And then God of War 3 I remember absolutely loving. I played through that one multiple times when it was new. And then oh, and the two on PSP, Chains of Olympus and Ghost of Sparta. Loved the two of those as well, right? And Little Liger, how's it going? Those were great. And then God of War Ascension, however, how many of you guys remember that? What the fuck? Hang on a second. Fjorton, thank you for the 25 gift subs. Holy shit, that is massive. Thank you. What do I even say? I don't know. Thank you very much. And then oh yeah, I was saying, what I was saying is, how many of you even remember the existence of the game God of War Ascension, which is where they tried to add in online multiplayer. There was online deathmatch God of War on PS3. It was not good. I didn't like it very much. That was the one where, like, I didn't like the campaign really at all. It was one of those games where I would be and this never happens in God of War 1, 2, and 3. Playing Ascension. Pirate Valkyrie, thank you for subscribing. Playing Ascension is like you're sitting there just mowing down hordes of the same enemy until you have the thought in your head, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing this right? It doesn't seem like there should be this many enemies. I must be doing something wrong, you know? But then no, it turns out that no, they really did just put that many of the same enemy in a row. And that happens multiple times. And then you stop playing the game because it's boring. But Fjorton, thank you again. And everybody who got a gift sub, enjoy the ad-free view. Old school DMC. Okay, that's the one where, like, I have to confess I never played. I'll probably play it at some point, but I have never played old Devil May Cry. The only Devil May Cry I ever played was the reboot. And the funny thing about it, you know, remember DMC Devil May Cry, the reboot? And the funny thing about it was that I fucking loved it. I thought it was awesome. I thought that game ruled. Play Bayonetta? I have also played Bayonetta. Bayonetta was awesome. I really liked Bayonetta 1. I didn't get through 2, though. And so I haven't played 3 because I didn't get through 2. Is that new PC port update a write-off? I mean, it's gonna need its own leaderboard. And I'm sure people who speedrun the PC version, like people who want to get into speedrunning FF7, nowadays are probably going to have to do that version if they want to run on PC. I don't think it'll be super popular, but it'll need to exist. And then for casual players, I think for casual players, it's overall going to be a good thing because it's easier to get running. Like, it's easier to get your controller synced up to it. It doesn't have the confusing ass stuff like press cancel in big pink parentheses. Oh, press the switch button in big pink brackets, I mean to say, which is like, what is switch, right, on the keyboard controls. So it doesn't have that stuff anymore. So I think for like, yeah, for casual viewers or players, I mean, overall, I think it's kind of an improvement, except for the fact that the backgrounds are ugly and blurry, and there's a sound issue as well, right? But hopefully they're working on that stuff. And yeah, I also have YouTube Premium. Like, that's the thing is I am all about Twitch and YouTube. I just watch Twitch and sorry about that. I was thinking about something else. I watch tons of Twitch and I watch tons of YouTube, right? So I have Twitch Turbo, I have YouTube Premium, and there you go. I don't really have to worry about ads on most stuff that I go to because that's mostly what I go to on the internet, you know? Those descriptors are nostalgic for you. Which descriptors? Blurry? Because this game that we're looking at right now, I wouldn't call blurry, right? It's just a little jaggy. The new PC version is blurry. Oh, the switch cancel thing. Yeah. I've been trying to cut down on how much time I spend just like watching things though. Okay, this is like probably like a 21 step. I'll do 21 and a half just to be extra careful. Because this is another one of those scenes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1 and a half. That junkyard scene right there is another one of those fields, where the danger incrementation is higher. And so if you're farther behind, you need to take more steps. And I was a little bit behind right there. Uh, 6:34:11 is my PB. World record is 6:31 something. And yeah, in battles, the backgrounds are 3D. Also in the mini games, you know, like the bike game and the snowboarding and Chocobo racing and all the stuff like that. All right. Can't look at chat for a second because we need to look at the waterfall. It's time to look at the waterfall. And divine our current RNG position. All right, all right. So the glow pattern I saw was 212-113-211. All right, that is pattern 153. We leave right at 3. We can do a playground skip and or a playground cut rather. And we're looking good. All right, all right. Dee 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 dee. But yeah, oh yeah. So what I was saying is that, so the field, right, like this type of scene, is the only module that has the pre-rendered flat backgrounds. Oh yeah, so what I did there was I looked back at the footage of me running into this house to look at the waterfall, because every time that the waterfall glows, it calls RNG in order to decide how long to wait before the next time that it glows. And the RNG and it's the only thing calling RNG on that scene, meaning that because the RNG table is 256 positions long, that means that the waterfall is sitting there repeating a pattern of 256 glow times. And so, if you stopwatch time out 9 glows, you can see where you are on the RNG table, because, you know, you're on the part of the RNG table that is those 9 glow times in a row. And it's either 1s, 2s, or 3s. There's shorts, mediums, and longs is all you have to worry about. So, so I timed it all out, and we got pattern 212-113-211, which is, you know, medium, short, long, medium, short, right? For the glow times. And that means that we are currently, right now, on position 153 of the RNG table. But now check this out, though. When we go back out here, the waterfall is going. So right now, our position on the RNG table is changing because the waterfall is going. So if you look at the save crystal, we have to leave right now. I left right then, timing it out with the save crystal. Hang on. So what we have written down, I've got a notepad document that has like details about every single glow, about all 256 possible glow patterns. And for that glow pattern, it wants you to leave after the save crystal has rotated exactly 3 times. The save crystal isn't what's changing RNG. It's just that the save crystal is the easiest way to time it, you know? So that we left between a certain number of waterfall glows. So now, our RNG position, I'm not sure exactly what number it is at right now, but it's at the correct number. And then this room calls RNG. This room doesn't. This room calls RNG, so our movement through this room has to be perfect. We brush on that. Okay, that was perfect. This room calls RNG, so our movement has to be perfect. So what I mean by that is that we need to get through those rooms in an exact number of frames so that we know that the expected number of RNG calls are going to occur. Same with right here, except it's a little bit more lenient. We just gotta, boom, hit that text box as early as possible coming out of the door. And now this room does not call RNG. So once again, on this room, we can kind of breathe easy a little bit. So basically, yeah, the waterfall is how we figure out where we are on the RNG table, and then leaving is how we, like, timing our leave with the save crystal is how we manipulate into what is going to land us on a good RNG pattern for the elevator. This is all for the elevator. Okay, so this room calls RNG. You might wonder what it is. It's these blue lights that are glowing up and glowing down. You see how they're, like, they kind of dim, and then they glow back up, and then they dim. It's a random amount of time, so they are responsible for why RNG is moving on this screen. This screen, it's really easy to get through in a perfect number of frames, though, and it's just by getting the first cycle of the swing. As long as we get the first cycle of the pole swing, we're good, because then we just buffer our movement off of it. All right, so here we go. Got to get the first cycle. And then just buffer up and run out of it. All right. And now this screen, we need to be perfect within 25 frames, which is not very perfect at all. It's very lenient. However, the leniency can change. There are some patterns where you have to be literally frame perfect on that screen. But luckily, this was not one of those patterns. Okay, so now what all of that means is we are now on RNG position 58. We are on position 58 on the RNG table. And what's so special about position 58? Well, I have a manipulation written out for it. So I also went through, this took weeks of research, and I wrote a Python script that simulates the elevator so that I could research this faster, and I made a manipulation for every single possible RNG position that you could get to the elevator on. But then it turns out that some of them are a lot better than others, and so the ending sheet I think only has like 20 manipulations on it instead of 256. And so we just manipulate RNG to get the good patterns instead of manipulating the bad patterns. You know what I mean? So I've got a manipulation written out for this one. It's pretty hard to explain how it works while doing it. Oops. Ah, shoot. Oh, actually, no, that worked out. Okay, great. But how it works is every frame inside the elevator, the game is counting up a number, and then it uses that number to decide how many positions to jump on the RNG table when you press the elevator button. And so we need to use a series of visual cues and buffers in order to, and buffered button presses in order to precisely control exactly how many frames are passing. So first, I have to hit this button exactly 20,367 milliseconds, well, not exactly, after closing that menu. And because of all these text boxes, it's difficult to do that consistently without a metronome. So here's the metronome. And if I did perfect, we'll get 19. I was perfect, so we got 19. If I was a frame early, we would have landed on floor 18. If I was a frame late, we would have landed on floor 17. And if that had happened, then the manipulation becomes different. So there's a different manipulation for each different floor. Because we landed on floor 19, the manipulation is now 2290. What does that mean? That's how many frames past the neutral position we need to wait, and this is all timing and visual cues. So here we go. Okay, I was one late, so I do one menu buffer, and then we go. And now and the reason is because floor 29 doesn't have a fight. So now I want to hit floor 38, and we got to go one frame past neutral for that. I was one frame past neutral, so that was perfect. Now we want to hit floor 47, and so I need to go 8 frames past neutral for that. 8 frames past neutral. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, and now we want 7 because I was 1 past neutral, and we had to be 8 past neutral. Now we can either be -1 or 1. -1 or 1. I was exact, so we do one buffer to get to 1. And there we go. That's elevator manip. So what was really happening there, as far as like me saying all of those numbers, is that it's like, okay, so here's how it works. In order to get from floor 19 to floor 29, I needed to hit the button 2 frames after the frame where Cloud walking up to the button would reach the button, right? So like if I walk up to the button, Cloud reaches the button on a certain frame, and I buffered him walking, right? I buffered him walking, so it's a certain number of frames that it takes for him to get there. And then we need to hit the button 2 frames later. So the idea is that you hit menu in order to bring up the menu, which freezes the timer. And then every time that you exit the menu while holding the menu button to reopen it, it passes exactly 1 frame. And so it, like, if we need to go 2 frames past neutral, and so I menued on the exact neutral frame, then you do 2 menu buffers to pass 2 frames, and then you hold circle while exiting the menu the final time to press the button. And there you go. But by looking at Cloud's hair as the game fades black to the menu, you can tell whether you menued a frame early, a frame late, 2 frames late, and so you just need to put that into your calculation. If you need to press the button 2 frames past neutral, but you menued 2 frames late, well, that means that you're already 2 frames past neutral. So then you do 0 menu buffers, right? And that's how it works. And crucial, great question. How does -1 work? Because if you open the menu before neutral, then, you know, how do you press the button then? I planned it out so that the neutral frame is not the first frame that you can possibly press it. So that was just intentional on my part, where if I hit early, you can still press it. Cause yeah, I explained it in a way that made it not sound like that. 3? 31 is 3? Yes. Just because it's easier to explain that way. But the neutral position is less about like what position can you possibly hit the button, and it's rather about the positioning of Cloud's hair and which are the frames that are the easiest to recognize during the fade out. Ooh, okay. How about Final Fantasy 1? I actually just replayed Final Fantasy 1 like a month ago. I just replayed it. The Nintendo version, of course. Great game. And then I replayed Final Fantasy 2, the Famicom version, the fan translation of the Famicom version. Also a great game. And then I started up I started up a replay of Famicom 3, but I haven't gotten far into it yet. Because I also then, in the mid time between Final Fantasy 2 and 3, I replayed Symphony of the Night and Crash Bandicoot. And now I'm playing Final Fantasy 3 again. However, Slay the Spire 2 came out, so now I'm just playing Slay the Spire 2. Okay, a little bit behind on steps here, but that's not really a problem. And so, like, real quick for those of you, like, how do we know we're behind on steps? Because we expect to get this fight right now, right? But I got it earlier than that. That means I'm behind on steps. But we're not so far behind that it's a problem. You need to get really far behind in Midgar for it to be a problem. And I have not played the 3D FF3 yet. I don't own it. Is that due to fractions? No, I made some movement mistakes in the train graveyard. Mostly. All right. Man, it's funny. I didn't see the movie Aliens until, like, it was probably like 5 years ago that I watched it the first time. Maybe it was, no, it was probably longer ago than that. But either way, I was an adult when I saw Aliens for the first time. And man, it kind of blew my mind just how many things, just how many lines from that movie and characters and that kind of stuff I was familiar with. Just from cultural osmosis, you know? No, I hadn't seen Alien or Aliens, so I watched both of them. I watched Alien, I loved it. I watched Aliens, I loved it. But yeah, watching Aliens, it was really funny because, like, I grew up playing StarCraft. Love StarCraft, you know? And man, it was funny just how, like, so many lines from that movie are just in that game. Or like the dropship character is just straight up the dropship lady from Aliens. You know, and like stuff like that. So yeah, I liked that a lot. Have I heard about the 7 and 10 connection? Kind of. Like there's a character named Shinra and stuff. Oh! All right. And then I watched Alien 3, and it was not so good. And then I watched Alien Resurrection, and it was not so good. And then I rewatched Alien 1 and 2. All right. But, I had a funny observation about Alien 3 and Resurrection though, which is that Alien 3, oh by the way, we're gonna get our fight like right now because we're a little bit behind. Instead of right now. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, that Alien 3 goes back to it being like one alien and a bunch of people stuck with it, and then Alien Resurrection goes back to it being like a team of cool dudes versus a bunch of aliens, right? So Alien 3 is basically like Alien 1 if it sucked, and then Alien Resurrection is like Aliens if it sucked. That enemy is called a moth slasher, KTM. But no, we don't. You get a carbon bangle from them. I think we don't need that. You have a soft spot for Resurrection. Here's what I'll say is I was entertained during Resurrection. I would watch it again. You know? Like, I'd watch Resurrection again. It was stupid and dumb and kind of bad, but I was entertained. Which is more than I can say about Alien 3, which was just boring as fuck. Alien 3 actually sucked, and it was... I kind of hated it. Yeah, 3 is the prison one. No, we had the Steam version, 2013 version, and the recent new one that had come out. Which one am I using for the speedrun? Right now, neither. This is the PlayStation version. This is the original PlayStation release. Have I seen the Resident Evil movies? When I was younger, I saw them, but it's been a long time. And then I haven't seen any of like the other Alien stuff, like Prometheus, or was there one called Arrival? And then there was one called Covenant? Alien Covenant? And then there was even a new one that was called like Alien fucking... Which emulator is this? Man, we got a lot of people asking about this version of the game. This is the PlayStation disc version of the game. It's the real game running on a real PS2. This is hardware, baby. Hey, Triple Poison is good. Yeah, we play on a PS2 for better load times. Mia, uh-oh. Mia's getting into fuckery mode. Ow, holy shit. Man, we have 2 nail clippers for our cats, and I can't find either of them. So now both of our cats have these fucking razor sharp claws. And yeah, no turbo. Yeah. The wrist is good enough where like I've been drumming and stuff. We're feeling good. Alien 3 was originally going to be set on a wooden space station run by bummy monks. I don't know what that means. Budget and technology constraints stop that. Oh, okay. But that's why the prisoners are religious. I see. And this will be a fun one. Hein? Peter von Braun? Peter von Braun? I don't know where to put the emphasis. But yeah, how's it going? Hello, welcome. Oh, just run by monks. I see. Isolation I never played. The only Alien games that I've played are... I played Alien Trilogy on PS1. It was also on DOS, but I played through the PS1 version. And then I played Alien Resurrection on PS1, which was awesome. Alien Trilogy was alright, you know? Alien Resurrection was awesome. The PS1 game. It had just like really, really great level design. And like playing as the different characters was fun. You know, like with all the different weapons and stuff. And the biggest thing about Resurrection why are people now we got multiple people asking about how many viewers are on Twitch? I don't know, man. I don't look at the viewer count. But yes, and that's what I was getting at, Octazor, is that so Alien Resurrection on PS1, it has like a modern control scheme, which is really cool, you know? Yeah, the controls are super modern. Here's the problem with it though, is that the game runs at like 10 frames per second sometimes, you know, while you hang on. I don't want to screw this up. Okay. While you're in combat, right? While you are fighting the aliens, and there's like a lot of like, not head crabs, facehuggers around, the game's frame rate drops down really horrendously, and it makes the controls really bad, right? Like, even though the control scheme itself is really good, the controls feel very bad because the frame rate is too low, you know? However, that game also supports, and keep in mind, once again, this is a PlayStation 1 game, the game supports the PlayStation mouse. And if you play Alien Resurrection with the PlayStation mouse, oh man, the controls feel so good. Even when it's at 10 frames per second, mouse controls can deal with that just fine. And it's so, like, the game just feels super good to play. And again, the level design is just really excellent. The game is super fun. My favorite games, just overall, Final Fantasy VII is my favorite game, but also though the others in the top are like Mario 64, Hollow Knight, Bloodborne. Well, honestly, Demon Souls, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and Sekiro are all in there. You know, they're all like in the pantheon of my favorites. There's a platformer called Wings of V. That's on Steam. That is one of my all-time favorites. The guy that made it is making a sequel now also. Binding of Isaac, definitely one of my favorites. How do I rate Dark Souls 1 through 3? So 1 is game of the decade, right? Dark Souls 1, game of the decade for the 2010s. And like it's a game, it changed the gaming landscape, you know. Even though even though Demon Souls did a lot of the things that people appreciate Dark Souls for, it's fine. Dark Souls is the one that popped off and had the big like the way that the world is connected and stuff in Dark Souls 1 like really helps it out a lot as well. So Dark Souls 1, game of the decade. Dark Souls 2 is an interesting one because it is my least favorite of the 3 to play. Of Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3, Dark Souls 2 is my least favorite to play. But it's my favorite to watch. Oh man, do I love watching people play Dark Souls 2. Because it's got the best atmosphere, it's the funniest, right? Like, Dark Souls 2 is like a comedy horror game. It's like a dark fantasy comedy horror. It's so funny. Just all the bullshit that's in that game, you know? So, like, I love Dark Souls 2 for all of its wackiness, you know? And then And then that's kind of what is making me overall sort of agree with Cho. That Dark Souls 3 is a very smooth playing game. You know, it looks great, it plays great. Everything about Dark Souls 3 is great. But I don't really think that there's anything about it that like particularly stands out as like this is a phenomenal masterpiece, you know? The game is just super great. Oh, except, well, I will say the Ringed City expansion of Dark Souls 3 is probably like the best chapter of the entire trilogy. I will say that. Do I still feel like I'm playing FF7? Oh, yeah. I mean, it's like... The game is definitely different now than it used to be. But... You know. I feel like I'm playing it harder than ever. And then 3 is great because it ends the games on a good note before shifting the style. I definitely agree with that. I feel like that was the intention, right? Because Dark Souls 2 was so different and so divisive, Dark Souls 3, especially being after Bloodborne, feels like a greatest hits, including even Demon Souls, you know? Because like they brought back the Storm Ruler, right? It feels like it's like a greatest hits of Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1 and 2, and Bloodborne, all in one game. And then the final chapter of all of it is Ringed City with Gale, which is just a wonderful ending, you know? So I do love that about Dark Souls 3, for sure. Crimson Desert I haven't played yet. I think it looks cool. I don't know how much it's my kind of game necessarily. But it does look cool. Have I ever thought about doing a gaming podcast? I did actually do one for a short time. And here was my issue with it. I really enjoyed sitting down and talking about games and then posting it on the internet, right? However, I didn't like it being over Discord. I really don't like the flow of a conversation when there's a 1 second delay between the two people, you know? And like you're constantly like you talk at the same time, so then you both stop, and then you both wait the socially appropriate amount of time to check whether the other person is going to be the one that takes the helm. And then when you hear that they didn't take the helm, you then start talking, but actually they did take the helm. It's just that it was 1 second ago, and now after the delay, you hear that they started talking as you started talking. So now you both started talking at the same time again. And then that just happens like 3 or 4 times in a row. I really don't like the way that happens, right? For like a... And like, so, yeah. So I kind of figured like, if I ever try doing a podcast again, I need it to be like in person. I need to be sitting across the table from the other person. I need to have eye contact with them. You know what I mean? You know. God, the menuing feels good on PlayStation. Anyway, what was I gonna say, though? The other thing. Oh, I am gonna do, I am gonna do a podcast soon though, like within like the next week. I'll tell you guys what it's gonna be. Popo and I are going to do a podcast about what we both individually think are the top 10 worst Dream Theater songs. Because we're both huge Dream Theater fans. But whenever I talk about Dream Theater and like Dream Theater albums, yeah, Calm Skip is coming up, KTM. Whenever I talk about Count of Tuscany is in the top 10 best Dream Theater songs. But anyway, what was I talking about? Yeah, you know, I always talk about how some things are like some albums have like how many skips are on a certain album, you know? And the thing is with Dream Theater, most of the time it's 0 skips. Sometimes it's 1. And then they've got like one album that's got like 3 skippers on it, right? But then that got me thinking, you know, like, man, I was talking about with Popo, like, what are the skippers? And then we came up with the idea of let's individually come up with a top 10 list and then do a podcast about it. So look forward to that in a couple weeks. Bum, bum, bum. Expedition 33 soundtrack on vinyl finally delivered today, only to discover some of the cases seem to be partially broken. Yeah, that is too bad. Hopefully they're doing like some kind of replacement thing, right? I think Tifa's driving, but I'm not sure. Is the main difference between the limit stages how much damage you must get to fill the bar? You're talking about the limit levels? Because yes. The higher limit levels take more damage to fill. And yeah, this is a original non-analog digital PlayStation 1 controller. I think I've got... Oh, yeah. There... Boom, there it is. And then I've shown the circle button. The circle button is kind of caved in from how many times I've pressed it. But, you know, it still works fine. I had to replace the membrane in there, though. If you guys saw, during the last PS1 hundo, the circle button on this controller actually did collapse. Yes, it broke. The membrane on the inside like completely collapsed. So the circle button didn't have any push up anymore. But I took the membrane out of a different controller and I put it in this one. So now this one's back to perfect working order again. There's a reason I hold square on this part and not circle, and it's because I think that the circle button gets enough action. Yeah, the actual plastic part, that's been slowly caving in for a long time. It's completely intact. It's just a little dented. Okay. Nice crit, asshole! Alright, 226 is over damage. $139 is fine. Double single is good. Here comes bolt number 3. Shoot, I didn't check the damage on bolt number 2. Was it? It was 238? Are you serious? That's insane. Yeah. So bolt number 4, and we're gonna skip a grenade here, because Cloud is doing silly damage. So skipping this Barret grenade so that we don't over damage him. And then here comes bolt number 5. Wow, that's a lot of damage. So that must be, I think that's a max magic roll on Cloud. All right, excellent. It can make MK annoying later if it continues that way, yeah. It's plus 36, right? So, 130, 36? There is a 34? Oh, gosh. I'm in the shit zone for this manip. We either get 134 or we wait for 51. Okay, 34 or 51. Okay. 51 it is. There is a manip at 40, but the manip itself is annoyingly complicated, where like it takes kind of a long time to perform, and it's a high risk factor. So I'd rather just wait slightly longer and take this one, which is very easy to perform. I get long range, yeah. I still do the long range route. Oh, why am I mashing? Is the IGT difference because of the long video before you control Cloud? It's not. The IGT actually starts right away when you hit new game, and I can explain why it goes slowly in a moment. But Mia, you please don't scratch the chair. Okay, 27, 32, 27. 32, 27. 32, 27. There is a 28. 28 is available. Or we can wait for 38. No, I'll do 28. But it is 28 or 38. This is calm skip now, yes. Alright, 28 or 38. 28 it is. Okay, so first, leaving on that particular IGT and then running in circles like this, what that does is it manipulates the world map RNG to produce a Chocobo encounter with 2 Mandragoras as the other enemies. Oh my god, I was supposed to do a menu. So this is not going to be what I want it to be. That's fine. This is fine, actually. We're just gonna do... I just have to use another grenade. I had to throw a third grenade. I screwed it up. I'm lucky that we got the fight that we got right there. Because I did not do the full manip. I was supposed to open the menu after a single circle. But that's fine. It worked out. Okay, so now what we gotta do is dismount the Chocobo specifically right here. What this does, this achieves 2 things. Firstly, zoning into this cutscene skipped the part where Cloud had to talk to the Chocobo. Secondly, it puts the Chocobo in a position where we are going to step on the grass before we get back onto it. Hang on, I feel like this skip was found by Kuma. I can't remember the skip. I can't remember the setup. Uh-oh. I might not get preemptive. I couldn't remember what the buttons were there. I lost my muscle memory. I'm too used to the PC version now. Oh my god, I played the PC version so much that I can't remember how to do the preemptive there. Okay, well, I'll just do the rest of Calm Skip. We'll just pretend that everything went fine. Do, 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 do. Okay. Here's where we hope that we don't get into a fight in the mountain. If we get into a fight in the mountain, the run is dead. We're good. All right, and now we just run to Junon. Good traversal. Nice. Okay, that was a pretty good skip. Okay, now 34 or 35. I think it's 35. Yo, Sar, welcome. Why no disc 1 skip? This route, we decided to preserve this route by saying, like, disc 1 skip disallowed. Here's the old any percent no slots, because this is, like, the most popular category. So, you know, this category has just continued to be the most popular without disc 1 skip. How's the run so far? Pretty good. I am almost on pace with PB, which is great. This guy, we want him to turn green. If he turns green, it's good. If he doesn't, it's bad. I may have screwed up preemptive Jenova, though. Okay, that's bad so far. But we have 3 more tries. It's really bad if it doesn't happen in the first 2, though. Okay, this is really bad. So we're gonna lose a bunch of time here now. Oofta. Okay, this is horrendous. We're gonna switch to throwing a grenade with Barrett first. All right, hopefully it sticks this time. Okay, so that's good at least. And now what we need to do is... Oh, I got it in time. Oh my gosh, that's really tight. It's super tight to get that in. That's what she said. Okay, okay. D. So now that grenade should kill. Yeah, all right, we're good. So whole bunch of time loss. It'll be very, very difficult to come back from this, right? Like, as far as whether or not this run can PB, it'll be very hard for this run to PB now because of that bottom swell. But, I mean, I'll try. I'll do my best. And then, what the hell happened when I grabbed that materia? When I grabbed the materia, I screwed it up. And so that might mess up my JENOVA-BIRTH fight. But I'm trying to figure out what I did wrong. You go up, left, L1 until bonk, and then do you just release L1? I don't remember where my big time saves are in the PS1 version. How does CD1 skip affect the rest of the run? It skips so much that we lose out on a lot of preparation. Like, of course we're a low level, but also, like, we don't have Gygas Armlet, we don't have Power Soul, we don't have Death Sentence, like, we don't have anything, you know, until we slowly build it up. So it makes the route is honestly a little bit more boring because we have to steal the circlet. We have to steal a circlet in order to get enough magic for the route to work, and that's like a 5% steal from a character that has really long animations. And then we also have to steal the Gygas Armlet because, you know, we don't get it from Demon's Gate. And then we have to steal the wait, do we have to steal the Protect Ring? No, there's no Protect Ring steal. Never mind about that part. We have to steal a circlet, though, which is really annoying. And... oh, hang on. We gotta do this. And yeah, romancing Barret takes longer than the Barret date saves. That is correct. Stealing Hard Edge is a time save on Jenova, yes, but stealing the Hard Edge itself can lose you time. So there's two different routes. Like whether you want to... stealing Hard Edge also saves a bunch of time on Motorball, but it can be yet another problem on the route for a couple reasons. One reason is that just the steal itself can be really bad. Secondly, in order to get the right formations to steal the Hard Edge and steal the circlet, you have to route it in a way that might also not be optimal. Do 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 do. All right. All right, here we mash until Barret moves. That's 2 boxes. Okay, about the estimated IGT thing, by the way. Why is the estimated IGT less than real time? The reason is that the way that here is exactly how in-game time in this game counts. Is every frame at the baseline 60 FPS that the system runs at, every frame, it increases a 2-byte integer by 1094. And since it's 2 bytes, that the number can carry up to 65,535. And at 65,536, it rolls back over to 0, right? So every frame at 60 FPS, the game adds 1,094 to this integer all the time. Now, there's two problems with that, though. The first is that 65,536 divided by 60 is not 1,094. It's 1,094.25, or like 0.26 repeating, or something like that. It's there's some decimal amount, right? So that means that it's counting up technically not quite enough for like the math that they're going for. The other problem is that the system doesn't actually run at 60 frames per second. A PlayStation 1 running in 240p at like we are doing right now, and the PS2 at 240p also runs this way. At 240p, it runs at 59.824 frames per second. Somewhere in that, like, somewhere around there. So, the value that ticks up for the milliseconds doesn't really tick up enough, and B, it also ticks up a little bit slower than what it seems like the math that they were going for. So for both of those reasons, the in-game time in this game counts up very slightly more slowly than real time. And so that's what the estimated IGT plugin on LiveSplit is doing, is it's just counting up at that slightly slower speed. Swish. How close is my PB to record? It's a few minutes off. It's like 2.5 minutes off. Is the run good? No, we got a 4th try poison on Bottomswell, so the run is bad now. All right. And yo, JDM, how's it going? Hello, welcome, welcome. Good to see you. And yeah, this is a great speed game. It's just really long. So, like, you know, it's tough to... You can't recommend this speedrun to just anybody because it's too long. But it's a great speed game. Bam, 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 bam. 3 years between 7 and 10? I don't think so. You must mean 7 and 9. You know, I've never heard someone refer to these characters as Lego characters before, but it kind of fits. But yeah, I think it's definitely intended to look like the 16-bit games, you know? Like, they're just... Like, this game, I think, very much plays like a Super Nintendo game in 3D, you know? Like, they kind of kept it stylistically very similar to the Super Nintendo ones. Just with enhancements where they could do the new stuff, right? At least that's how I've always interpreted it. No slots means that we are not allowed to use Kate Sith's level 2 limit break slots. Because it's super overpowered. When I played this game the first time, how long did I waste looking for 35 135th soldiers? I definitely looked. I definitely looked around Junon for them. Two Phoenix Downs, 2 Tranks, or no, 2 Phoenix Downs, 2 Echo Screens, a Hyper, 10 Tranks, and a tent. Yeah, that feels right. I've been rusty at this lately because I just haven't been doing runs consistently. So I gotta remind myself of these numbers. Because I haven't been using notes while I run this game for a long time, except for notes for specific things like elevator manip or world map manipulations. But like the general notes for like what do I buy in shops, how do you fight the bosses, I haven't used notes for that stuff for a long time. But now that I'm kind of rusty, I gotta like rehearse it in my head before I do it. If you're playing casually, is slots as broken? Not nearly as broken, no. Because slots casually, it tries to screw you. And part of the speed trick for using it is to get it, is to like confirm it through before it has a chance to do its little trickery. And a casual player will like never do that. They'll always, like, look at it first. And yeah, Turbo is a separate leaderboard. The discussion's been had many times. And, most people want them to be separate categories. Personally, I think that the categories should be combined with a filterable column, you know? A column for yes, no, was Turbo used. And like if people really want to see the non-Turbo leaderboard, then they can filter it to only non-Turbo. I think that that's totally fine. Most people don't agree though, and they just want them to be separate. Most other runners of FF7, I should say. Did this game start as a Nintendo disk drive game? I'm not sure. I mean, that sounds believable. Because, like, in Japan, the N64 had a disk drive. But then but that didn't end up coming to the US. And then, of course, there was the Nintendo PlayStation that was planned as well. By the way, do you guys remember when that thing was found? Do you remember when the prototype PlayStation Nintendo was found, and then Ben Heck, like, fixed it up and got it working? That was pretty cool. You think non-turbo is for the younger players? I feel like it's actually the opposite. I think that younger people are generally more accepting of something like turbo, because who the hell wants to mash the button all day, right? Every modern game has a skip button, right? Or like a hold it down button. I think it's old guys who are like, nope, that shit's for sissies. I just want to sit down with my original PlayStation controller and just mash it out, you know? Okay, it's very likely that I screwed up the preempt here. Hopefully I didn't. Turbo is definitely a little bit faster. Like, you know, you can make the argument that it's only the same speed as perfect mashing, but like, nobody's perfectly mashing for 6.5 hours straight, so it definitely saves time. But yeah, it's also just a lot more comfortable. Equip. And then, okay, I also have to remember how to do the preemptive here. I think it's like this. And then like this. And then like this. That was definitely right. We had turbo controllers back in the day. Yes, it has been a thing for a long time. The only problem with PlayStation, though, is that there aren't really any good PlayStation turbo controllers. At least not, like, up to snuff for what you need out of a D-pad on FF7, which is why when I run turbo, I run a modified Sony controller. Like, I made a turbo mod for a Sony controller. All right, I still got it. Okay, nice. Boom. Okay, so I bravered apps, lobby. That was bravery number 5. And nice, she opened with a stop miss, which is really good for us. All right, perfect. Nice. Okay, bravery number 6. Braver number 7. And now I am going to queue up Tifa right away because she might skip gas. And we're at the point where she's dead if we get another Braver anyway, so we don't have to worry about turn order as much. Nice. That was a really good fight. That was a really good fight. So we still managed the sub 2 hour. Even after a 4 poison bottoms well, still managed a sub 2 hour JENOVA-BIRTH time. That's really good. Oh, about Crimson Desert. Someone was asking me about Crimson Desert earlier. Basically, like, here's the thing that I've seen of it. From what I can tell, is that the game seems cool, except it's definitely made by an MMO developer, you know? Like, it seems like it's made by a company who doesn't know how to make a game for a controller. And then also, for mouse and keyboard, they only expect you to use the default bindings, and everything's really complicated. That's what I haven't played it, but that's what it strikes me as. Is like, the controls are really weird, and the game has like a lot of the kind of jank that you would expect from, yeah, like an MMO developer. We got Kingdoms of Amalur again is hilarious. Because, yeah, that actually, that seems pretty on point. Yo, Cornfed, I saw you doing some no major skips last night. I'm unlikely to play it, not because I think it looks bad or anything, but because it's just not exactly my kind of game, though, you know? That type of, like, fantasy stuff. Well, I mean, like, I might play it if I had fewer similar things on my plate already that look a little bit better to me. Like Stellar Blade, for example. I haven't played Stellar Blade yet, and I think that looks really great, so... So that's kind of got priority. I haven't played Armored Core 6 yet, either. Gotta play that. As far as, like, my quota for, like, action games goes, you know? Yeah, this is just a regular-ass PS1 controller. Not even analog. $203.02? 203... 2, 3, 4 all work. Okay. $203.02. 3 and 4 also work, which is why I just went. All right. This manipulation only gets you to the bridge for complicated reasons. And yeah, that's good to hear, Cornfed. Boom. All right, so now we can get into a fight. You're on the list now. Hope it was worth it, bud. Boom. All right. Now, back to regular steps, so we get a fight right now. 2.5 steps after this fight. So yeah, I was behind in Midgar, but you catch up at the point where you force the encounter to do the Jenova preempt. So steps are back on, which is why we got you have to be on steps for the preemptive. 1, 2.5. Have I played RE9? No, I have not played any Resident Evil game past 5. That's another thing that I would like to catch up on, but realistically, like, when am I ever going to do that? 9 looks cool, though. And yeah, Darkio, this place is awesome. Just the vibe of this area is really great. Yo, straight and G. Run. We had a really unlucky bottoms well, but I'm keeping it together at least well enough to, you know, for the run to not be terrible. I don't know if I'm close to finishing Dragon Quest VI. Well, I'll say it definitely feels like I'm not. It feels like the end is far. No, I haven't played RE9 yet. I haven't played 6, 7, 8, or 8 yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.5. I think I'm going to, I'm gonna replay 5 with Popo maybe also. Okay, here we don't want to be too far ahead on steps. So I force an encounter at a certain spot just by walking. Like by switching to walking instead of running, and then we'll for sure get the encounter before we leave. So like right here. Oh, I got the encounter right there anyway. 5 is fun co-op? Yeah. That's the thing. It's a fun game co-op, and so so yeah, I'm wanting to replay it. And then I'll try 6, you know. I'll give 6 a shot. No, KTM, it's just a waste of time to look at the Chocobos. Ooh, I could have tried to steal a soft there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes, I have had the giant cloud glitch. Not on this version, though. That only happens on the PC version. Well, I don't know if it happens on the HD console version, but it does not happen on the PlayStation version, the original. But there's lots of things that can be upside down. When you call for the helicopter to... Oh, why am I running? I guess we run. Hang on, I got a little distracted. You can optionally steal something from these guys. It's not worth forcing the steal, but it is worth going for one steal attempt while you try to escape. So that's what I'll do this time. But yeah, giant upside down helicopter was my favorite. But also like in the Cosmo Canyon scene where Bugenhagen is like giving the spiel about the planet, both of your party members are pretty often giant and upside down. And then, am I a fighting game fan? So I always say the same thing about fighting games, which is that it seems like it would be really fun to be good at fighting games, but it doesn't seem like it would be very fun to get good at fighting games. So I just never play them. But I think that they're cool. Kind of a slow menu there. And yo, Rymoon. Welcome, welcome. Legend of Dragoon? Yeah. That game was great. I forget how long you don't have to mash here. I should probably... I should take this bathroom break, though. The issue with being good at fighting games is that you're not going to be good enough for tournaments, and other players that aren't as good as you will refuse to play with you. Yeah, that too. I hear that, right? Exactly. You get to the point where you're better than all of your friends, so then they don't want to play anymore. And then, yeah, and then you're like, okay, well, I'll go to a local tournament scene, and then you just get fucking crushed. But, you know, maybe what you need to do is go to a local tournament, get crushed, but the people who you meet there, make friends with them, right? And then play friendlies with them. Is that the strat? All right. I'm gonna take this bathroom break. Oh, just in time. All right. Yeah, I will say, like, as far as me not ever having gotten good at fighting games, part of the reason for that might be that, like, I grew up with Mortal Kombat and not with Street Fighter. And so it's like, Mortal Kombat, what do you want to learn? What does every kid want to learn? Well, they want to learn the fatalities. But, like, the fatalities are really hard. They're difficult to memorize. They're difficult to perform, right? And so, like, I never got to do them. Like, having to, having to memorize like button inputs for Mortal Kombat. Like, I love the style of Mortal Kombat, but I don't really like how it controls or plays that much, you know? And so like I do remember like I played Street Fighter for the first time when I was probably like 18, the first time I ever played Street Fighter. And I remember thinking, wow, all of the different controls are just based on like quarter circles and half circles, no matter which character you are. That's way better. But it was too little too late. Smash Bros, though, I have always liked Smash Bros. That's kind of what that is the thing. If I could pick one fighting game and be like the best in the world at it, I would pick Smash Bros. I just like Smash Bros. The competitive Smash community is garbage. I feel like every single gaming community ever is garbage. Like when we talk about once you leave, like, what am I trying to say? I feel like any community that you look at high level, when you're looking at the forest rather than the trees, right? People will say it about every community. The Final Fantasy community, the Final Fantasy VII community, because that's the thing, is that the Final Fantasy VII community, when we talk about it, when people say, right, when people say, like, the Final Fantasy VII community is garbage, they're not talking about you and me, they're talking about the people on Twitter arguing and fucking flaming each other, and calling each other slurs over whether or not Cloud should bang Tifa or Aerith. And they're mad about it. They're mad about it, you know? We're talking about them. And that's the thing, is like, that's most Final Fantasy fans. Right? But, you know, I feel like you kind of hear this type of thing about every community, you know? Like, oh man, like the Dark Souls community. Oh man, I love Dark Souls, you know? And I've been all about Dark Souls for a long time, right? I love the Souls games. Since I played Demon Souls, right? But that's another community where it's like, if I played Dark Souls and you guys showed up, we'd have a great time. It'd be cool. But when the PhDs show up, when the Dark Souls PhDs show up, you know, then it's like, oh my God. And you know what's going to happen. People who are like, you know, you can be like, which Dark Souls game is your favorite? And it's like, no, all of them suck. Whichever Dark Souls game we're talking about right now sucks. Even though I've played it for 3,000 hours, when you do a power attack at a 37-degree angle from somebody who is rolling to the left in online multiplayer and their ping is above 15 milliseconds, it misses them, and it shouldn't. And the game sucks, dude. The net code is fucking garbage, and they're mad about it. This is what I'm talking about, right? But I guess what I'm saying, though, is that I just hate the internet. I think that's really what I'm saying. And now I've kind of lost track of what we were talking about in the first place. What's another one though? I mean, there are other communities that I'm not a part of that, or well, that like I've never even played the games, but I've heard that type. That was pretty quick. Real end devoir. Okay, hang on a second. Oh yeah, I mean, let's not even get into what constitute easy mode in Elden Ring. There we go. Oh, yeah, you hear it about Dead by Daylight, you hear it about Undertale. Undertale's another big one that you kind of often hear. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Does Hollow Knight have a bad community? When I think of Hollow Knight community, the only thing that I really think of is like Mossbag videos, which are pretty great. I don't know anything about like the regular folks. Whoops. There we go. Nice. You know, I could have actually just thrown a Molotov there. And it would have saved some time. Wow, that was really good. Holy shit. Would have been even better if I had thrown that Molotov. Used to stream Dead by Daylight. I've watched. It's funny. I've never played Dead by Daylight. I've watched a decent amount of it though, only because like people who I like play it, right? Like I've seen Limmy play it. I've seen RJ, the FF7 runner, RJ the Destroyer. I've seen him play it a bunch. There's another guy I used to watch who played it a bunch, and I never really. It took me a long time to understand the mechanics of it, even though I watched it quite a bit, but I think I get it. But yeah, basically from what I've heard about Dead by Daylight is that that game, people don't want to just play it and try to win. They all argue about how we can get the most points and how the killer needs to let the survivors get points. You know? Well, including the killer is what I mean to say. All right. Get ready for this very exciting boss fight. Ooh, we got the first turn. So now, if he doesn't counter, we're looking pretty good here. Yeah, no right arm today. And yeah, Warble, I agree. Like the community, you know, oh, no counter. All right, perfect Dine fight. Oh my god. If I had thrown that Molotov instead of Bravering, we'd be ahead right now. But instead, we're 2 seconds behind. We are on pace with PB now. That's crazy. It's like I never left. Now, I do need to make sure that I stay on point for the rest of this game, though, you know. Like, we're going to be coming up on some boss battles that I'm going to have to... that are going to have much more complicated execution, and I need to remember how to do them. And yeah, I can't say I've ever really understood the exact motivation for Dine's suicide there. Well, except for the fact that, like, he just killed a bunch of dudes, and so he is... I mean, that was kind of like a suicide mission for him from the start. Where, like, he just killed a bunch of Shinra dudes, and some other dude. So, like, he probably was gonna have a tough life ahead of him if he survived and was caught. And yo, Rennie, thank you for subscribing, thank you. All right, here we've got 4 messages. 1, 2, 3, 4. Really gave a bad rep to guys with gun arms before he went out. Yeah. All right, here we got to practice our 1-frame inputs. It's very important in this game to be good at moving the cloud for only 1 frame. Okay, okay. Do. 634 is my PB. 630, or the world record is 631. It's like a higher 631. I think I'm about 2.5 minutes behind record. But more importantly, I'm only like 10 seconds behind Feck. Luzbel is the world record. And I think Morningcraft is number 2. Zeal is number 3. Feck is 4. And I'm 5. And yeah, I'm and like I'm saying, I'm only like 10 seconds behind Feck. So, you know, I don't need a big PB to move up to number 4. And yeah, a lot of people met me through that Carl video. Okay, it's time for the beach plug manip. So this is where that IGT, that estimated IGT comes into play. Okay. We can take 0, 1, 6, 8. Okay, we're taking 6. Okay, 6 and 3 menus. One, 2, 3. This should get me a side attack. Nice. Ah. Come on, Kate. Oh my gosh. We almost... this is annoying. There we go. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Alright, so it is now time for Cosmo Canyon Skip. So here's the deal. The spot that I slid down to on the beach put us into a very specific multiple. It put us onto a multiple of 90 versus a very specific coordinate. Why? Because the buggy moves 90 map units per frame if you're moving not diagonally. So now, we need to move not diagonally and not brush on any more walls, otherwise it'll throw off our positioning, all the way to the skip position. Okay. And there it is. And now we can, and there we skipped Cosmo Canyon. I did it a little slowly. I was pussyfooting a little bit with my thumb to get those one frame inputs, but you know, could have been worse. All right. What up, baby man? It's funny, that skip always looks really clean. I feel like I did it really poorly, but it always looks clean. And the reason is, if you do anything wrong, you're fucked, right? Is the thing. So like, yeah. No, I don't have some of best. My splits are my PB. All right, we get a fight right now. 13 steps after this one. Oofta. Don't cover this, you stupid idiot. Okay. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Whew. All right, it is Materia Keeper time. This one's a little tough to explain while I'm doing it. I'm messing up my muscle memory a little bit here, but 2, and then you're fine. Okay, yeah, that's fine. So we'll go like ice, elemental lightning. Okay. Basically, we need to get him to quad 7s and poison him. So the way that we do that, you'll see. Basically, 99 damage plus 2 ticks of poison puts him at quad 7s. And then that makes poison kill him. Nice miss, idiot. 71, so we want 28. Nice crit, asshole. Oh my god, that put her in crit? Okay, this is really complicated, but alright. We need 28. We need 2 hits. Hit him once. Hit him twice. I need to do something. Ah, fuck! I mistimed it. 35-47. 48 is a hold and 2. Good job, stupid. 48 is a hold and 2. Yeah, we're fine here. Oh, why did I do that? Jeez. Okay. I made a couple errors there. But really, that fight was really bad. The reason that it was a big deal that he put Tifa into critical HP is because her weapon is the Power Soul. And the Power Soul makes her do double damage if she is in critical HP, but we needed her to do a specific amount of HP, in damage. We needed her to do 28 or less. We needed to do 28 or less, which is exactly what we set her up for. That's why I put the 2 materia on her. I checked her strength. I saw that her attack power was 50, or 52. We want it to be 50. So that's why I put 2 materia on her to reduce her attack. And then, as you saw, after I cured her, she hit for 26, which is basically perfect. $29.22. Oh my god, I'm under on money now because of that. Oh my god, Tifa dying made me not get enough AP. So now I don't have enough money. I have to sell something. I have to sell a high potion. Oh gosh, that's annoying. Okay, so what actually went wrong, right? Oh no, the run's dead now. The run's dead because I fucked up. Oh my gosh, dude. I'm so flustered by that MK fight that I forgot to do the sequence here. I forgot to do the plot here. I went into the house for the drill arm, but you have to do something else in the house. So this is like over a minute of time loss, and there's no way I can PB off of this. This kills the run. So really that was a materia keeper death, but it was a materia keeper death that like was really stupid. So let me It's totally fine. You know, I don't know. Runs die often. Here's the thing. I was supposed to go in here. I never went in here. You have to go in here. And so because I didn't do that, it loses like a minute, and I'm not gonna come back a minute after I'm already 40 seconds behind. So I want to talk a little bit more about the Materia Keeper fight. So first of all, him putting her into critical was very annoying because then I had to heal her before I did her attack. And I didn't know whether a poison tick had occurred yet. Normally what happens is you do the bio, then you do the attack with Tifa right away, and then you do the math of how many attacks you need to do before the third poison tick. Yeah? That makes sense? However, the problem was that because he hit her into critical HP, that meant that I poisoned him, then I had to cure her, then I had to do her attack, which at that point I didn't know whether I missed a poison tick or not, and it turned out that I didn't. It turned out that I managed my AP really, really well, which meant that I managed my ATB really, really well, which meant that a poison tick had not occurred yet. So that meant that then I put in the cross slash too soon, and because I put the cross slash in too soon, that then means that it wore off too soon, and then he got his turn before the third poison tick. And the problem with him getting his turn before the third poison tick is that in that moment, he has 7777 HP, which means that if he hits a character, they die. And he hit Tifa, which is really bad, because A, I need her to have good experience for later in the run, and B, she has the Power Soul on, which gives double AP on the stuff that's equipped on it, and 2 of the materia that I sell were equipped on the Power Soul, so then they didn't get any AP, and now we're behind on money also. So yeah, that's what happened. Whew. All right. Yeah, that's super annoying, but you know. If anything, this run so far though, it has okay. So I think I'm gonna keep going though, just because this is still good practice, you know. And like I'm really rusty right now, and so I don't want to end the run. So I'm just gonna keep going even though we're behind. And yeah, you know. So what are the cascading effects gonna be now? Now the problem is I need to sell a high potion to be able to get into the gold saucer again. Well, actually, I need to sell it for Fury Ring. Ooh, so I don't need to do an extra shop because I just sell it on the Fury Ring shop. Okay, that's fine. And then, all right, so on the Fury Ring shop, I have to sell a high potion. Then, the other problem is that Tifa's going to be a low level now. Tifa's level is going to be under-leveled, which is going to be annoying. I could kill an extra set of bats to fix that, I think. If I kill a set of bats on the icicles section, that might make up the experience on Tifa, and then she'll be the correct level for the upcoming boss fights. Now, here's the thing though, is we want a specific amount of money later. If you kill the bats, they drop 1,600 money, gold. The rocket punch sells for exactly 1,600. So if I kill a set of bats, but I don't pick up the rocket punch, then that will even out my money to be the correct amount. So that'll be the plan. That's the action plan. I haven't even opened my Arizona watermelon juice cocktail yet. Why do they make the tab so small that it can go into the drink hole? What the fuck? Okay, there we go. All right, all right. I think I've come up with a plan to continue. It's slow though. You know, we lost time. Do 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 do. Because very importantly, we have a fancy world map minute coming up again. Oh, there is no Chocobo racing on this category. I mean, we already did the Chocobo racing, which is just the single race that you do. But hey, maybe we'll get really lucky on Palmer. An actual cocktail, like with alcohol in it? No, it's a Arizona canned beverage. All right, this guy, once again, we just really want to see him get poisoned as early as possible. Wow, look at how low Tifa's HP is because she's she's under-leveled. Nice. Oh, dude, I forgot that I lost a minute to the, I forgot that I lost a minute fucking around in Rocket Town going the wrong way. I was thinking to myself, man, how come I'm losing so much time on Palmer? Right, I forgot. We're like 2 minutes behind because I forgot to go into that one room. Okay, this is a fun manip. So for the following manip, what we're gonna do, let's talk about it briefly. World map RNG seeds based on your in-game time, which makes it so that, which is why we have the estimated IGT on the live split for this one, because we can't look at our in-game time as we exit this following cutscene. So anyway, world map RNG seeds based on your in-game time as it loads in, and then it advances on every frame that you're pressing left, right, L1, or R1. So what we're gonna do is do very specific Tiny Bronco movement to get back, to get onto land, and then we're gonna do our land movement such that every frame one of those buttons is pressed. And the thing is, if you menu while you're moving with one of those buttons pressed, it offsets the RNG by 1. And so if we count Cloud's arm swings and we move within the right, and we menu within the correct windows, you know, using Cloud's arm swings to count the time, we can avoid encounters. Okay, 48, 50, 53. It's not this one. Oh, it was that one? Okay, never mind. Never mind everything I just said. I forgot which text box was the last text box of that cutscene, and so I just, I missed it. I blew past it. I thought it was, I thought there was another text box. So we just gotta YOLO it. No manip. Man, I'm really fucking things up now. I am making a lot of mistakes. I'm kind of rusty, though. I've been saying that since the start. This is the fight we don't want to see because they might. Okay, hey, we got an instant escape, which is really good. Moving diagonally like this is 5% faster than moving straight, which also gets us to town in fewer encounter checks. Oh, we only got one encounter. That's pretty... And it was an instant escape. That's actually pretty good. All right, that wasn't bad at all. And then we can still do the arm swing manip on the way back. La da 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 ba da bum 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 ba da bum 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 ba da ba da bum. Bring in your TV and PS1 to breed chocobos on a camping trip. That's awesome. Do, 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 do. I was definitely never allowed to bring an entire console and TV. You know, for me, like, I played a lot of video games, so my parents were always looking for me to play less video games. So if we were on a camping trip, it was like, bringing a Game Boy along is already pushing it, you know? No way my parents would pack especially a tube TV, right? Into the car so that I can play more video games while we're on a camping trip. Did you get the gold chocobo though? Oh yeah, you said it took you days to figure it out, so it sounds like you did. Yo, Cash. I don't make mistakes, I learn. Yeah, but sometimes I have to learn the same thing like a whole bunch of times. Oh, here's a strat that I don't usually do, though. Boom, skip the text box. Just one text box, but hey, we did it. One fewer text box. Second option there, you get one fewer text box. But man, I remember before Game Boy Advance SP, having like my regular old brick Game Boy playing Pokemon in the car. Do you guys remember playing Pokemon in the car and like you only even get to see the game every time a street light goes by? That's part of the reason I feel like that Pokemon was so popular on Game Boy, is just the way that like the game is so playable in like the oddest of circumstances, which is the same reason, or like the toughest of circumstances, which is like the reason that you know, Twitch plays Pokemon was something that actually worked versus Twitch playing any other game, just because of the way that like it's grid based, it's turn based, there's not a lot of options, right? So yeah, it's like with Pokemon, you could just any time that a street light went by, you could just see the you can just see the you know, what the current state of the battle is, and then pick your move. All right. Oh yeah, I had Link's Awakening when I was younger. I'm glad you guys also had the Streetlight Game Boy experience. Game Boy had the tint dial, the contrast dial. Yeah. When I played Zelda, and I think when I played Pokemon also, it's funny that they put a night-day cycle into those games later, because when I played Pokemon when I was younger, I would fake a day-night cycle with the contrast knob. Like, as a kid, I would turn the contrast up to, like, super white and be like, it's morning! And then turn it really dark. Ooh, it's nighttime! Alright. If everything goes perfect from here until the end, would I still PB? Probably. But I mean, the level of perfection would be silly. I think I'm just focused on like remembering all the menus, because the thing is, there's gonna be other disasters in this run when I get to menus that I can't remember. Yeah, I am, Perlio. Just thinking Pokemon was the coolest thing ever invented. I mean, it was up there. It's such a great concept. I've never really been a big fan of the Pokemon games, just like the way that they play. I end up not being very interested in the gameplay of them. But like conceptually, I think that they're really awesome. But you know, that reminds me of a different thing though. I think Doom. Remember when Doom came out? I mean, I don't, because I was 3. But when Doom came out in 1993, I think it was the coolest thing to ever exist. It was the coolest fucking thing that ever existed. So nowadays, I wonder what's cooler. You've never played any Doom game? Let me tell you something. I used to have a friend who would do that he would do that hand motion all the time when he said that. Let me tell you something. You should play it. Doom is just as good today as it always has been. And the version that's on Steam right now is really good. Like, they somewhat recently updated Doom on Steam. Like, they like made like a source port of it that's official. And so if you just casually buy Doom 1+2 on Steam and you boot it up and you play it, it's really awesome. And I would recommend it. Oh, is Fuhuo here? Because, alright, so I've tried pulling my balls out of my pants when I'm at the urinal a couple times, and I don't think that I found any significant advantage to it. I didn't think it felt like it was very groundbreaking. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm sold yet. I'll give it a couple more test runs, but, like, so far I'm not really getting it. Boom. The SNES had enough colors it could show pre-rendered backgrounds. I mean, there are pre-rendered backgrounds kind of on Super Nintendo. I don't know. It is interesting how it's kind of a different ecosystem as far as development goes, where like I don't know if you would call them that, because it's like on Super Nintendo everything is pre-rendered, kind of, you know? Unless we're talking about Mode 7, I guess. Mode 7, it kind of has to change it a little bit. It's kind of re-rendered. Or re-rendered. Am I through the zipper or over the waistband? I'm definitely a through the fence kind of guy. Oh, okay, I gotta scroll this down more. See, we're looking at like 51, 54, 56, or 3 or 4. Okay, 303 we go at. And now it's 20 and 38. 20 and 38. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We don't need to do another one. So there you go. That menu that I did at 20 arm swings skipped a battle. And then I would have had to do another one before 40 arm swings, but we were already in the Bronco. And now RNG is just totally different, so... Ooh, that's good. That's good. Okay, great. Nice. Okay, now we just get a free steal attempt. There it is. Okay, now we do a lot of steps here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half. Now here's where I need to sell that high potion. Ruined reactor. Where is it? There it is. Jeez, that's low. And then we can buy our Fury Ring. I did play Final Fantasy 13. Funny thing about it, I played Final Fantasy 13 when it was brand new, and I hated it. And I shit-talked it for like 10 years. Then, a few years ago, I tried it again, because I had played all the Final Fantasies up to it at that point, and I was like, alright, time to play 13, let's just load this pile of shit into the PS3, and let's all make fun of it, right? And then, that time that I played it, I ended up loving it. I loved it that time. It was awesome. Great. The game is great. I've been watching Caleb try to play it, and man, it's too bad that it's crashing so much for him. It makes me glad I played the PS3 version. Even though, you know, it had longer load times and it was 30 FPS, still, it was a rock solid experience, you know? But that's exactly the kind of thing, which is why I make such a point to always play the original versions of stuff, you know? Is just to not have to worry about that kind of thing. You know, my whole idea about it is like, I want to play the game that I missed out on, right? Which isn't the new version. It isn't the remaster or anything like that. You know, you just get the original game on PS3. I'm 10 years late, but here we go. Yeah, I don't know much about the 360 version other than that it was I believe it was 3 discs and the FMVs were more compressed, right? And I've also heard that there's some effects, like some post-processing effects that aren't on the 360 version also, which makes sense because I think that the game, right? This is the source for this is my ass, but I think that the game started development as a PlayStation 3 game. And then it kind of seems like they decided later, let's also put it on 360. So it makes sense that that version might have to have like a couple compromises. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, remember what I said? We don't grab the rocket punch because I'm gonna kill bats to make up for Tifa's Materia Keeper death. And the bats are gonna drop 1,600 gold. And so I don't pick up this rocket punch because that would sell for 1,600. And we want to stay within our budget. Not go over. How did I learn the full hundo? Ace had very good notes for it. I mean, it's been a while, so I don't fully remember, except for probably just like looking at Ace's full run notes and then also watching a run like alongside it, you know? And then, of course, just doing a really slow one. Right? Like, my first hundo was probably like 20 hours. Oh, so here's a part where I need to recite a menu before we do it so I don't get confused. This is an up menu. It's up to config, A to be wait, up to equip, boom boom Yoshiyuki, square, boom boom, long range, cover, well, it's cover first, I think, then long range. Then Ifrit, Elemental, R1 to Eris and go 2 down. And then we go up to item, arrange by type, heal, trank, Fury. It's a Fort Condor thing, everyone needs to smile, yes. No slots means we are not allowed to use Kate Sith's level 2 limit break, which is called slots, because it's overpowered. The fastest thing to do, besides disc 1 skip, is to grind kills with Kate Sith until you get slots, and then one-shot every boss with it. So this is the route where disc 1 skip is banned and slots is banned. Because it kind of feels the most like we're still mostly playing through the whole game, but with some big skips and stuff. All right, that menu that I just recited, let's do it. Death blow? Oh no, that's right. Cover, long range, Ifrit, elemental, enemy skill, type. There we go. When I recited the menu, I forgot about Death Blow. Grobber! Grober? Thank you for subscribing. Hello, welcome. Has the cat caused a run to fail? Many times. One time she stepped on the power strip that the router was plugged into and turned it off. Yeah, later I saw a house centipede nearby the router, or nearby the power strip, I mean to say. So I think she might have been chasing that or playing with it or something. And so, and I had never seen a house centipede before. I had never even heard of it before, right? I know what a centipede is, but a house centipede with like the long legs, I had never seen before. And I was like, there is a straight up monster next to this power strip. What the fuck? I don't like bugs. I'll tell you, I don't like bugs. And so I'm like, man, what do I do with this thing? So I'm looking at it and I'm looking at it and like I move the curtains and stuff and it's not doing anything. So I think it's dead. You know, it must be dead. It hasn't moved in like 30 minutes. So eventually I got a rag to grab it with. So I got a rag on my hand and I was like, all right. And then I went for a grab on it, but my grab, look, it was in an awkward spot and my grab was really shitty and stupid. And so I was like, oh man, I don't know if I grabbed it because I didn't really center it on my hand very well when I did the grabbing motion. So I then took the rag fist and I turned it around and on the rag on the outside of it, it was just crawling up like it was there and it was moving. And I went, "Aah!" I let out the battle cry of the century and just threw it across the room. and never saw it again. Never saw it again. Ooh, that's very good for us. I should have attacked with Cloud, but I kind of forgot what I was doing. Ooh, that's really good for us. Okay, now we can do the Trank strat. This Trank is to take Fury off of him because Fury makes him miss. I knew that that attack would kill because I was counting his HP and, well, counting attacks, really. So that was really good. So I knew that that attack was going to kill, but if Cloud was still under Fury, he would have a 30% chance to miss. So the Trank was to make it so that he would for sure hit. Does Mia like laser pointers? Not as much as Magic. Both of our both of our cats aren't super excited about laser pointers nowadays, though. They don't really, both of our cats don't really get excited about things anymore, usually. High Potion, Turbo Ether, Phoenix Down, Trank. Okay, here we go. I had to think for a second there. Just finished Ari Requiem? Yeah, man, I've heard pretty much nothing but great things about RE9. All right, everybody's favorite boss. Woo. Hey, my pleasure if I did, Thunderhawk. Oh, yeah, on like YouTube. Yes. I screwed up a little bit here, so we're gonna wait for that to go. Oh, not like that. Okay, what do I do now? Down in circle. And then hopefully this goes off. Nope, I fucked up, dude. Going into that defend menu really messed with me.
What are these holes in the wall for?
Okay, that is super annoying. But now we go 1, 2, 3, and now we are mega behind on damage. Okay, now we're gonna be ahead on damage, though. Okay, yeah, this is fine. Oh, but we're behind on time. 2, 3. So you know what? I'm gonna skip a Molotov here. Otherwise, our barrier isn't gonna last. Okay, now 1, 2, 3. I think Cloud survives this and not Kate. And my damage has been kind of whack, so I'm gonna heal. Nice crit, asshole. Well, the run might be dead here to another Demon's Gate crit. Demon's Gate crit kills the run again, is what's happening. Yes. Oh my god, dude. Classic. There it is. There it is. I did my best to keep it going, but another Demon's Gate crit. Ay, ay, ay. Well, that's how that goes sometimes. Now, I got good news though. The good news is that we got time for other stuff now, you know? We got time to play a different video game or drums. I kind of want to play drums. I only played drums like 2 days ago, but now I'm kind of wanting to just jam it again. Here's the thing about drums though, is that I can't play drums on YouTube. And so the YouTube people have to come to Twitch, as far as that goes, or Kick. So that's the deal. That's the deal there. I think is that agreeable? So all right. Here's the deal. I think I am gonna play some drums. I'm gonna go get my computer. I gotta set the computer up real quick. But in preparation for that, what I'll say is, if you're on YouTube, I can't do music streams on YouTube because they shut them down. So here is a link to the Twitch channel, and hopefully we will see you there. I'm just gonna set up this other computer real quick. So let's do it. Let's get into it real quick. Hang on, I have to tell you guys something. So, Mrs. Dash has been playing this game that's like... It's like Asteroids, but a Vampire Survivors type game where it shoots automatically. And the idea is you blow up the asteroids and you mine the ore. And then the ore, after a round of it, the ore that you collected gets dropped into like a plinko, and then the plinko, the spots on the bottom have different dollar amounts, and then the Plinko gives you dollars, and then you spend the dollars on a skill tree that does things like shoot faster, do more damage, but then there's stuff like spawn more asteroids. But then there's stuff like increase the dollar values of the Plinko pits, or start making the Plinko pegs worth money when the ores hit those, or and eventually your ship gets so strong and you're killing so much ore and whatnot, that like the upgrades start becoming like process the ore faster, as in like drop more ores and that kind of thing. So it's back and forth between play the asteroids game, watch the ore fall down the Plinko, spend your dollars on skill tree upgrades, repeat. Fun little gameplay loop, right? But I was wondering, I was expecting at some point there's probably going to be a point where this ore starts just happening all the time. Because one of the upgrades that you can get makes it so that your ore will still process while you are doing the shooting. While you're in the asteroids part of the game, it will process ore behind you. And so that got me thinking, like, man, I bet that there's a part of the game where the ore just keeps coming, and you don't even need to play the asteroids game anymore. And sure enough, when I just went upstairs to grab my computer, and I walked by Mrs. Dash's computer, what did I see on her monitor? I saw the Plinko board was fucked. There was just 800 ores bouncing all around, each of them pinging off money like fucking fireworks all the time, and the ore never stopped coming. And I hear she's upstairs vacuuming. She's just upstairs vacuuming, and this shit is just popping down here. So I just thought that was really funny. All right. So here is the final deal then. Once again, real quick, popping over on YouTube. I am about to switch to playing drums, but YouTube will shut me down if I stay live here, so I cannot do it here. If you want to watch the drum stream, head over to either the Twitch stream here, or there is also a kick mirror as well. If you got something against Twitch, that is available as well. So those are the two options for the drum stream. The stream is now going to go down for about 10 seconds, all right? Stream is about to go down for 10 seconds, and when it comes back up, it's going to be only Twitch and YouTube, and not YouTube. So there we go. How about that? There we go. All right. We ready? I'll be back in 10 seconds on Twitch and Kick. Thanks for watching YouTube. For anybody who's not switching over, thanks for watching. All right, bye. Be right back. 10 seconds.